Hey everybody, so this is Lily here. Thanks for tuning in to one of my videos. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what it's like to be an RA in college, resident assistant. So I am currently going into my third year of being an RA at my college. I'm a senior in college right now, and I became an RA when I was just a sophomore. So why I was even interested in this position and how I became an RA and stuff, that's kind of where I'll start. When I was a freshman, I couldn't afford to live on campus my first semester of college, so I commuted from home, and it was about an hour and a half drive to and from school every day. And I did that for my first semester of college, and it was really difficult, sitting in traffic and stuff when I could have been studying or doing homework. It was no fun, but I did it, and I really had no option. So that's how I did my first semester. So my second semester, I was able to save up enough money to live on my college campus, which I was super excited about. And I had a pretty good time living there. It was difficult for me to really make friends or hang out with friend groups because everybody had already lived there for half the year and kind of already had their set groups of friends. So just kind of joining a group wasn't the easiest thing ever. But way back in my first semester when I was commuting, I had heard about this position, the RA. I had heard about it, and people have seen RAs in movies and stuff, and in memes sometimes I would see. RAs are kind of like the fun police. All they want to do is write up people, get them in trouble for drinking or playing their music too loud, breaking up a good time, basically. That's what I thought being an RA was. So then I heard that when you become an RA, you get to live on campus for free. I know some schools do 50% off housing or something, but my school does totally free to live on campus. So I, knew myself. I know I'm a good leader, and I really like meeting people and kind of I would say just being a good leader. I'm the oldest of four kids. I was always a captain on my high school sports teams and stuff, and even high school jobs that I did, I quickly advanced to a supervisor in. So I felt like this would be a perfect position for me. I studied construction management in school, so coming from a management position, I'm this would be so great to kind of manage a whole floor. So I applied at the end of my freshman year of college, and it was a very difficult application process, and I had to go through 4 different stages of interviews. It's super competitive at my school. I believe at most schools, because getting free housing is no joke. That's a lot of money. So they take only the best of the best. And lucky for me, they must have seen something great in me, because I got it my next year when I was just a sophomore, which I guess is pretty rare at most schools to start being an RA as a sophomore, because you're still kind of young. They usually take you junior year, especially since I had only lived on campus for 3 months before that. So I was still kind of learning about campus residence life, at least. But I became an RA that year. So when I was a sophomore, I was a freshman dorm RA, so I got to live in the freshman residence halls and welcome all the new freshmen that year. And then this previous year, I was a sophomore residence hall, and now I'm in a junior and senior residence hall. So I kind of moved my way up the ladder these past couple years. I would highly recommend becoming an RA if you can, or at least applying for it, because the huge benefit of the fact that you get to live on campus for free. You save so much money that way. Seriously, I don't know about your school, but my school, it's $15,000 a year to live on campus. So that alone, that's an amazing paycheck to be making while you're in college. So that's one thing. So the money aspect is great, but just the personal and I would say even the career aspect of it is irreplaceable. I have seen myself grow as a leader, as a person, so much in the past 2 years of being an RA. You get so much training. Like at the beginning of the school year, I have to move in an extra 2 weeks early, where for 2 weeks straight, like no days off, we just do like training on how to deal with conflict resolution, any type of Title IX, like sexual misconduct situations, harassment, obviously the underage drinking, possession of marijuana, that type of stuff we deal with as well. But another huge part is like mental health in the residence halls, especially with like new students, freshman students. They are so like apt to get homesick. This is such a different environment for them. Like, especially I live in the city, so it's like a lot of these people come from like small towns, so it's like a super change. So all of this training, and also like just diversity training, how to run programs, how to coordinate programs, how to run floor meetings and conduct all of those. Like, I have now been doing internships throughout like my college career, and every time I go in for an interview, the employer's always super impressed that I'm an RA in college, because they remember from when they were in college, like all of the extra stuff that their RAs did. And it's maybe when you're in college, you look at the RAs, still people think of me as the fun police, but when you're out of college, you look back and realize, wow, the RAs were the actual like mature people who like lived on my floor and were in school with me, So I recommend doing it. I think it's only made me like so much better of a person, so much better of a employee. Like once I graduate, it again, especially being in a management position, it's helped me like immensely. Plus, not to mention all the friends I made. Like literally all of my close friends at school are my co-RAs, and I think it's because we all have really similar school, we all like take school as just as seriously as each other. I find like in a lot of my classes, some of these students, my co-students, my peers, are not taking it like nearly as seriously as I am. Like, I know how expensive school is, and I'm like gonna show up to every class, I'm gonna do every assignment, I'm gonna try and learn, and a lot of the students there don't do that, and that's super frustrating. Like, especially when it comes down to like, everybody's going out to the bar on like a Tuesday night, and we have an exam tomorrow. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, and then suddenly I'm the nerd in the group, and they all are like ridiculing me for that. Whereas like my RA friends would never do that. Like, we all understand like school comes first, and then like social life can come after that. So it puts you in like a really good group of people, like an academic achievers group, which is the type of group you definitely want to be in college. So yeah, if you guys have any other like questions about like being an RA and stuff, I will say it does take up like so much time. So you have to be like really good at working like an extra job while you're also have all the schoolwork. But if you're trying to save some money and become like a much better person, I highly recommend becoming an RA. But like I said, if you have any more questions, please just comment them below. I would be happy to answer any that you have. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. All right, bye.